Welcome back, Guardians. Another week, another TWAB. And today, we got some really interesting stuff that's gonna happen in Beyond Light. So I thought we're gonna start by reading through what Bungie has to say and all the new, cool engine updates that they've announced with this TWAB. So this week at Bungie, the weather is changing. You feel that? The slight chill in the air. It's time to prepare for a colder climate, Guardians. Europa has no sympathy for unprepared guests. You might want to come with a weapon or two, because frigid storms aren't the only danger to be found here. Don't be afraid though. An old friend will be waiting for your arrival. And then they show us the Europa trailer. And if you've been following this channel, you know that I have a video talking just about the Europa reveal. So if you haven't checked it out, check it out and you get a more solid foundation of understanding about what Europa is all about and the new weather system changes that Bungie is bringing to the game. This also goes hand in hand with what they're talking about next in the TWAB. The Europa report, 100% chance of snow. Here they're talking about dynamic weather effects, which I haven't really talked about. It looks really good. So last time we talked about Europa as how the map would look, the different destinations, etc. Here, they also showed us new weather effects. These weather effects will dynamically change how the planet looks. So it's gonna be a calm weather, clear skies, perfect skiing weather. Then you're gonna have a slightly more intense storm, and really thick, horrid storm. Enemies won't despawn, meaning that thermal sights will be key for this environment. They're also talking really quick about Destiny 2 coming to the Xbox Game Pass. So if you're a PC player and you're thinking of having Destiny on 2 platforms, then getting it for Xbox is pretty much worthwhile, since you only need the Game Pass to play the games. That means you can play with your Xbox friends and your PC friends without really having to invest that much money. But he also mentioned a few housekeeping notes for Guardians who aren't being freshly rested into the Cosmodrome. You'll need to download Destiny 2 Forsaken and Shadowkeep to access this content. Without Destiny 2, you can't launch the game. For new Guardians joining our ranks for the Xbox Game Pass, they have a help article specifically for you. Their help forums are also available at any time if you hit a snag on your way to the tower. If you encounter any issues accessing the game content or Xbox related services, please refer to the Xbox support. It's basically as an introductory step-by-step guide for players who want to go into the Xbox Game Pass and play Destiny 2. We have that Iron Banner is coming up. Since Season of Arrivals is getting extended, we're both going to have Festival of the Lost and Iron Banner once again. It will start the 29th of September and end the following reset. There will also be a few more weeks with increased rewards for Vanguard, Crucible and Gambit, so stay tuned for announcements. And this is where the meat of the article comes, the Talking Tech Preparing for Beyond Light section, with Beyond Light on fast approach. It's time to shift our TWAB's gear a little. Today, we'll be talking through some of the backend changes that will be coming to Destiny 2 on November 10th. To guide us through this process, we're passing the mic to Destiny Engineering Director David Aldridge. So Aldridge mentions that when Destiny 2 launched 3 years ago, they had no idea that in 2020 they'd announce a new trilogy of expansions, among other 2020 surprises they didn't anticipate. At the time, they thought Destiny 2's arc would look a lot more like Destiny 1, a couple of expansions, and then a sequel. Bungie's learned many lessons through the transition to Destiny 2, and from shipping Curse of Osiris, Warmind, Forsaken, the Year 2 seasons, and Shadowkeep, when they evaluated those lessons, they decided not to pursue a Destiny 3. This was confirmed by Luke Smith back when they revealed Beyond Light. But instead, they wanted to reinvest everything into Destiny 2 and make it all that it can be, a single evolving world. To support that strategy, they've made several tech investments to help them sustainably evolve the game for years to come. And some of those investments are arriving in Beyond Light. Many of those changes are under the hood, meaning they're backend changes. They won't affect your experience as a player. But some of these may result in neat improvements, curious behaviors, or bugs. This means that on November 10th, some of the places and things will feel a little iffy, so Bungie is going to give you a rundown of some of the changes and possible side effects. They shifted their mission scripting model to run on physics host instead of mission host. So the gist of it is that it gives designers options to create more novel mission mechanics by giving the mission scripting environment full access to the game state instead of the much more limited access the mission host had. For example, the physics host knows exactly where enemy combatants are and what actions they recently performed, while the mission host only knew how many combatants were alive in a squad and what the squad was generally trying to accomplish. In Beyond Light, they're only launching the foundations of this system, and they look forward to evolving and leveraging this in the future. So as a player, what might you expect? The new scripting environment changed many behaviors in complex ways, and you might see some interesting behavior changes or bugs in pre-Beyond Light missions that were originally built and tested on a previous system. They've tested these missions heavily and stamped out many bugs, but some will undoubtedly slip through. They'll be monitoring and fixing these bugs over time, and in some cases, these issues can be more severe. An example would be that the Prophecy Dungeon literally has crashed. And as you might know, it's going to be taken down with Beyond Light, and it's going to make its triumphant return, slated for the end of this year. You're also going to be able to join people in the tower. So if you and your friend are both in the tower, but on different towers, if you understand what I'm saying, you may be able to join your teammates without having to go out into a loading screen and then back into the tower. You'll just seamlessly transition from one tower to the next. And this is where it gets interesting. They revamped their content building and patching pipeline to speed up downloads and install times. This will shrink Destiny by roughly 30-40%, which is a huge deal. Unfortunately, you will have to reinstall the entire game on all platforms. To help mitigate this, they're planning to release a preload for Beyond Light on November 9th. Roughly 10 hours before the gates open. So, I understand this is important for a couple of specific things. First and foremost, it gives them a lot faster reaction times to mission critical fixes or game breaking bugs. They reduce the overall shipping time for different patches and updates, meaning they can work more on the game and less on trying to fix old stuff and making sure that it all works and comes together. They've also rebuilt their characters' face systems. Some people have been clickbaiting and saying this is face customization 2.0, which is simply not true. They've just updated the faces by making them bigger, giving them different shapes. You might see some differences on your Guardian. The helmets might look bigger or smaller. We'll have to wait and see when Beyond Light launches. Only thing the new facial system does right now is that your Guardian's face may look a bit different. They've also updated the lighting on EDC and Nessus to appropriately use the lighting engine that you're using for Beyond Light. Finally, this is a big TWAB, Guardians. We got some more emblems. We got the fashion show emblem, the featured artist, movie of the week, Bungie bounty, and we got some cool new emblems. These emblems are only for the community moderators. These moderators are something Bungie themselves reached out to. They are usually people that are helpful in the community, that have gained a lot of traction in the community and are well known. If you're a helpful community member that guides people through Destiny experiences and how it works, then you might have the Mentor's emblem, the ninjas, and the shields. And personally, all these look great. And to become a volunteer, you just gotta be active in the community and hopefully Bungie will reach out to you. But remember, don't do this for the emblems. Do it for the kindness towards your community. The emblem is kind of just like, a little bonus. Personally, I'm super excited for the lighting changes. I'm super excited for the planetary dynamic weather systems because this means they'll be able to probably add rain, cool sandstorms and stuff to the different planets. Maybe like, on the Almighty where you had this mission where the sun scorched you. They could probably add that to planets closer to the sun as well. Overall, I think Beyond Light is gonna be a huge deal. So before we end, I just want to ask you Guardians a question. What do you think about all of these changes? Let me know in the comments down below. And as always, I want to thank you so much for sticking through to the end of the video. If you did enjoy it, then liking and subscribing to the channel is a great way to stay up to date on all the latest uploads. And with that, I want to wish you the very best of your day. This is TCSpectre, signing off.